Hi, my name is Conrad Braun, and I want to thank you for watching this short video. Um, Today I want to talk a little bit about content, the content that you post on your site. And this could be, generally, is in the form of text, as in articles, but it could also be in the form of videos or, or anything else for that matter. Content is really something that adds value to the site as well as to the visitor that is on the site. So having that in mind, it is important to never cheap out and get cheap content produced or content that is absolutely junk to put on your website. To give you an example, some of my older websites, my older projects that I had were auto blogs, and as you may or may not know, that was like a hot trend that a lot of internet marketers were falling into um, just a few short years ago. As a matter of fact, I see still some um, of the smaller marketers still very much pushing that method. But some of the bigger guys, I guess they finally caught on to the fact that the search engines love to see websites that have unique content, that have valuable content, that add value to the visitor, to the user on that website. As a matter of fact, what has been happening in the last few months is a lot of the big sites, very famous sites out there, have gotten hit by the search engines, and the main reason was because of the content they had on there. It was not unique content. It was not content that added more value to the visitor than any other site would add to the visitor. In other words, the exact same content could be found on a different, more trustworthy website. And just to go a little more into this, what used to happen, okay, as an example for autoblogging, it would take content from a different source and spin it or change it around just a bit and add it to the visitor's website. The biggest disadvantage with that was that the content was absolutely garbage. If you were reading through it, some of the sentences just would not even make sense. So um, I don't want to say anything negative or bad about spun content. It can come very handy, especially when you're using it to build backlinks to your site on a massive scale. But um, as far as having it on your site, I would absolutely not recommend it. If you do spin an article, um, always manually go through it, read through it, make sure it actually makes sense to the reader and to the visitors on your site. Also, when you're outsourcing article writing, for example, or video creation, I personally believe it is absolutely critical that these people that you outsource to know what you're talking about, know what they're talking about, know about the topic, know about the niche, as well as have really good grammar in the language that the content is in. Um, as an example, I just recently went to an outsourcing company that I used to outsource all my content writing to, and they're very good priced. They have very reasonably priced, but when I got the content back, uh, I read through the first article, and the whole article just did not make any sense to me. Um, I personally think I could have done a better job just copying article somewhere and spinning it rather than having it outsourced to these guys. Obviously, English was not their first language, and um, the content just was, the quality was not there. So um, I guess what I'm trying to say is look for a good writer that knows how to write properly in the language that your content or your site is in, and make sure that they know enough about the topic to be able to provide value in the content that they're creating for your site. And I guess to just re-emphasize this a bit more, I just recently read an intensive case study where someone proved or had tested and it was proven that Google is now tracking visitors that it is sending to a website, and is tracking how long the visitor stays on that site, how they exit that website, how quickly they leave, if they click in a link on that website, just various things that a visitor would do when it comes to a website. And they found, a case study proved or revealed that Google measured a website's ranking very much still by a visitor's response on that site. So let's say if a visitor came on the site and leaves 5 seconds later, and it happened with the majority of the visitors, Google would very quickly give your site lower credibility, simply because it knows that the visitors it's sending to that website don't find much useful information on there. So I'll try to make a reference to it in the post below. Um, Try to make a reference to the guide that I was reading if you're interested. Again, you're not uh, building an overnight business. You're not making an overnight success out of a website. It takes time to build. Um, and I've had greater success spending more time with a website and building it. It's called building a business. It takes time. It is a process. I've had greater success doing it that way than building a dozen autoblogs that run by themselves. And that's not to say that the autoblogs did not work. And as a matter of fact, they're still working. But my greatest success has been the websites that I spent most time on and that I've built up to become a business, rather than, just an autoblog or something that adds junk content just for the sake of attracting the search engines. Um, Google is constantly improving their crawlers, their software. Um, so it really is not a too smart of an idea to build a website strictly around the fact that you want to please the search engines. It should always be your main purpose, main objective should always be finding something or creating something that is attractive to the end user, to the visitor that is on your site. Does that make sense? I didn't really prepare for this little clip here. It's just something that I've been thinking about a lot the last couple of days, and I just thought I'd do a quick video and share it with you guys out there. And yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback on it and hear what your experience has been. Yeah, feel free to comment below, or yeah, send me a message. And yeah, I'd just love to hear what your thoughts are on this topic.